Okay, so we're talking about Andrew Jackson and the negatives and the positives. So, on the positive side, Andrew Jackson was the first poor person to become president. This is something that we learned about. And so, for a lot of European American males, he gave people some hope that they could also one day become president. The second thing is that he gave land to poor white European Americans. He did this because he forced other people, original Americans, off of the land, but he did give it to poor white European Americans who were able to make a living. In the War of 1812, he was a hero. He was a hero because he walked while the wounded rode. He also was somebody who slaughtered a bunch of Creeks at the Battle of Horseshoe Bend, and so that to the United States Army. The United States Army made him a hero. But the very same things that made him a hero to the poor white European Americans made him not such a great person to other groups of people. So, like I said, he was a hero during the War of 1812 to the U.S. military, although one of the ways that he did this is by slaughtering many Creeks in the Battle of Horseshoe Bend. The second thing he did is that he forced Creeks, Cherokee, Choctaw, Chickasaw, the Sac, and the Fox off of their land. And some groups fought this and died as a result of them fighting. Other groups really struggled to walk. They were forced oftentimes to move without their supplies. They had to walk about 1,000 miles, the Cherokee did, and 1 in 4 died on this journey. They had to walk in hot days and cold days. All the kids, the parents, they walked in rain and windstorm. There was often not enough food, and there was no shelter. And the U.S. Army was forcing them at gunpoint to walk in this really long march that was about 1,000 miles. And so that created a lot of pain and a lot of suffering for the Cherokees. And again, other groups of people. And the Choctaws and the Creeks were sent west with chains around their necks. So it was a really tragic time. Andrew Jackson also was violating the Supreme Court when he did this because the Supreme Court had said that the Cherokee were allowed to stay. They were their own nation and they should not be forced to move off their land. But Andrew Jackson ignored the Supreme Court and still did this. And the Cherokee version was called the Trail of Tears. He also had about 140 to 150 slaves. He was known for not being the nicest slave master, at least as his plantation. One example was that he ordered about 300 lashes for one of the enslaved people that tried to run away. And 300 lashes is about enough to kill a person. So this is the overview of Andrew Jackson. His impact was positive for poor white European Americans who saw that he was a hero becoming president, who gave them land, but he did it as a result of his negative impact on Cherokee, Creeks, Choctaws, the Sauk, and the Fox, and also the enslaved people that he owned and around him.